Hey guys, so here is another, I can't even really say dating story because this isn't even dating. This is trying to meet people. And I'm convinced that I've gotten worse at this as I've gotten older. I am the common factor here. I've definitely gotten worse at it. I would say from about 23 to 33, I was constantly in a relationship. I was a serial monogamous, whatever. And now nothing. And the story I'm going to tell you is why. It's to quote Jimmy Buffett, "It's my own damn fault." So I exchanged numbers with someone I meet on one of these dating apps, and that's a whole thing of itself. She starts texting me in the morning, and kind of off and on all through the day, and she seems very friendly. And then in the evening, she starts. After some hours, she texts me at 11 o'clock at night. Very friendly text. I'm just sitting on my floor folding clothes and whatever. And we're kind of texting back and forth and folding some stuff, blah, 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 text, blah. And finally, I'm just like, I text a few things which she doesn't quite understand what I'm saying. And I said, yeah, texts get lost in translation. So she's like, you just want to call? And I'm like, yeah, sure. So she calls me, I have her on speaker. We're talking, and the conversation is going really well. Now, here's the thing, and I'm going to have to explain the motivation for me asking this. So I've noticed in the past year that I'm on dating apps. I just say it is what it is. That I have been getting, I would say, contacted, matched, or whatever. I pay for the feature where I can see where people swipe on me, right? I don't have money to throw around like that. I don't know why I do this, but I've noticed that a lot of the people who are swiping on me are what I would consider young, more than a 10-year difference. Not that I'm averse to dating someone who's 10 years or more. When I say 10-year difference, I mean younger. 10-year older than me, I'm kind of like, yeah, okay. But 10 years or more younger than me, I'm kind of, I don't know why. It just seems kind of stranger than if someone who's 10 years older than me contacts me. So, even like occasionally people in their 20s. So I just kind of ask her about this. I'm like, she's 40. And ask, when you were when you were younger, were you averse to dating older guys who were 10 years or more older? And she kind of responds, well, I was not kind as she does. She responds how she was actually married a few years ago, and the guy she was married to was almost 15 years older than her. And I'm kind of like, yeah, to me, if you're 35 and the guy, I think he was actually 48 or 47, so not quite 15. But if that's, to me, that's like, as you get older, not a big deal, whatever. But to me, it's like when you're 22, 23, and you're dating a guy who's like 37, 38, 39, 40, that's kind of, is that kind of strange? So not strange. Strange sounds like a value judgment, but, like I said, I'm not averse to dating someone who's 10 plus years younger than me. But whenever I see them, part of me is kind of like, I'm old. Why? I got a bad hip, balding, grays, like, hey, but whatever, get it where you can. So she proceeds to tell me, I'm just talking about dating, guys. I'm hand to God. I'm just talking about dating. I'm not talking about sex or anything. I'm just talking about purely dating. That could be like, hey, you're 22, a guy who is 41 approached you for coffee. You went to get coffee. Maybe my problem is that when I say dating, for me, like people have this, are you seeing people? Are you dating? To me, dating just means there's someone of the opposite sex and you're doing a thing with them. That could be coffee. That could be a relationship. That's just anything besides just a platonic relationship. And I think this is my fault because there's all this nuance. And to me, maybe I'm just using this blunt word of dating. And people, when they hear dating, they just mean something very specific, these levels of whatever. Because in my opinion, if you're saying, look, I'm spending time with this person in a non-platonic sense, you know what you're doing. You're willing to do whatever with that person. So my question really is, are you willing to go to the wire? I'm not going to sing the song anyway, but are you willing to go all the way with this person, right? She proceeds to tell me, after she tells me about the person who she was married to some years ago, which quite frankly, I don't care about. At this point, I don't give two shits about. I'm just going to be real. I don't give two shits about hearing at this point. I think sometimes women tell you that they were engaged or married because they think that maybe that's like something of, I mean, I know it's a thing about somebody and you're getting to know somebody, but I think it's almost like them saying like, hey, somebody wanted me at one point. I didn't ask about that thing, right? I find the whole thing annoying, but I'm patient, right? So then here's where it gets strange. She tells me my first was someone in high school when I was in high school. I'm like, what are we talking about here? Your first, I just asked if you dated people who were, and I even told her, I'm like, look, the reason, even when I asked the question, I started the question by saying, the reason I'm asking this is because I've noticed on these apps, there's an uptick of this thing. And I don't know if that's a thing now. You know, I'm curious. I was just wondering if that's a thing, right? And what her experiences with that, I mean, just whatever curiosity. She starts talking about how her first in high school. But then she says, my first was when I was in high school, but the first person to show me things was significantly older than me. So now she's telling me about or to do things or to show me things or something. And I'm just like, why are you telling me this? I even say, I even think at this point, I say, I don't know what. I'm like, I'm sitting at home. It's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm not getting any. I'm like, why do I want to hear about you doing whatever? I'm really saying this. Maybe I'm just rude to say this. But she's like, well, I was just saying that the first person, I was in high school, but the first person to really show me things was significantly older than me. So this is where I go out of pocket, man. I'm like, show you things? You mean butt stuff? I said butt stuff. I said, you mean butt stuff? Now, the reason I said butt stuff is because the thing you told me was ridiculous, and I'm going to counter with something equally ridiculous because I didn't ask about all that. I've been talking on the phone. I virtually know you through talking on the phone at this point for less than an hour. And you're telling me about the first man who made you feel special, who made you feel good. I don't need to hear about that. That wasn't even my question. I don't care. And she said, well, no, I'm talking about doing things with your mouth. I'm like, I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm just trying to figure out why are you bringing it up? And she's like, well, you brought it up. And I'm like, I didn't bring it up. She's like, well, you brought it up. You start talking about butt stuff. I'm like, no, you brought it up when you started telling me about the first time a man made you feel like a woman. You started bringing up the first time a man made you feel good. I didn't ask about any of that. I don't know why you told me about that. Am I going to get any? No. So what do I care about? And by the way, at this point, when I was talking, she'd already hung up on me. No kidding. I don't know, but at some point in between, I think I was talking for about 30 seconds before I realized she had hung up on me. I'm never going to talk to her again.